Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we, really try to unearth the important stuff and just cut through all the noise to figure out what actually matters. And today, wow, we're plunging into something I know hits home for a lot of you. Memory. I mean, who hasn't wished for a sharper mind, right? Or
Yeah.
better focus? Or just that little bit of an edge in our, well, frankly, busy lives, that search for better brain function. It feels pretty universal. And you, our listener, shared some really interesting sources about one product in particular, this popular memory supplement called Memorion Pro. My investigative radar is definitely pinging on this one. So our mission today, slice through the marketing hype, look really closely at the claims, and find out what the research actually says.
Yeah, this is a great topic and timely. The whole memory supplement industry is, well, like our sources point out, it's booming, absolutely huge. And it's
Yeah.
driven by this very real anxiety, I think. It's often unspoken. We're all just drowning in information every day, feeling that pressure to absorb it, process it, remember it all. So it's really no surprise that products promising a quick fix, an easy way to boost brain power are so tempting.
Makes total sense.
And our goal today, it isn't just about Memoriam Pro. It's about giving you the tools, that sort of mental toolkit to critically look at any product making these big health claims. Think of it as like your shortcut to being genuinely informed, getting those aha moments you look for when you tackle complex stuff like this.
Okay, perfect. So let's unpack this Memorion Pro because honestly, they know how to make a good first impression.
Right.
It's marketed pretty aggressively, actually, as a premium dietary supplement,
Yeah.
and the promises are big. Improve memory, boost focus, and enhance brain health. Straight up.
The classic trio.
Exactly. Now, what really grabbed me in the materials you shared, beyond just those headline promises, were the more technical sounding bits. The stuff designed to make it seem super credible, scientifically sound. Like the pitch talks about a gentle but powerful formula, and it supports neurotransmitters and blood flow to the brain. And they really push that it uses pure plant ingredients and natural minerals.
Mm-hmm. Natural always sounds good.
Right. Plus, it's made in an FDA-registered facility, and it boasts GMP certification.
Huh.
Now, on paper, when you first see all that, it sounds legit. Sounds really scientific, doesn't it? Almost undeniable. But the big question is, what does the research really show when you dig in?
Well, and this is what's so fascinating, isn't it? How these claims, while maybe technically true in a very, very narrow way, are so often completely misinterpreted by people. It leads to this false sense of security or, belief that it works. Let's take that FDA-registered facility claim first. Sounds official, right? Like a seal of approval.
Yeah, definitely.
But according to our sources, what it actually means is, well, basically the company just told the FDA they exist. That's really it. It's just a procedural thing. Like, hi, we're here, we make stuff.
Right.
What it absolutely does not mean is that the FDA tested or approved any of the memory claims, or that they've checked if it's effective or even safe for that purpose. Not at all.
Wow. Okay.
The analogy in the source is pretty good. It's like saying a restaurant passed a basic health inspection. Okay, great. The kitchen might be clean. Maybe the staff wear hairnets. But that doesn't mean the food is good for you or won't give you indigestion or even make you sick. And it certainly doesn't guarantee it's like gourmet quality. Companies highlight this because they know people confuse registration with endorsement. It's subtle, but yeah, it's misdirection.
That is such a critical difference, and I can totally see how people get tripped up by that wording. Okay, so if FDA registration just means we exist, what about the GMP certified claim? That one sounds more substantial, like a good manufacturing practices.
Yeah.
That sounds like real quality control.
You're right, it sounds good, and GMP is important. It stands for Good Manufacturing Practices, like you said. It means the product is consistently made and controlled according to certain quality standards. Things like, is the facility clean? Are ingredients handled properly? Is the dosage in each pill consistent? So, yeah, it basically guarantees safety standards in the making of the product.
Okay, so it's about how it's made.
Exactly. But, and here's the catch, again, it does not guarantee effectiveness. It tells you the pills were likely made safely and consistently. It says nothing about whether they actually work for memory enhancement. Our sources are pretty clear. Thousands of supplement companies use GMP certification. So while it's definitely something you want to see, you don't want pills made in some dirty basement, right? It doesn't make this product special in terms of results. It's about manufacturing quality, not whether the thing actually boosts your memory.
Right, got it. So we've kind of peeled back the layers on the regulatory stuff, seen how easily that can be misunderstood. But what about the actual ingredients? Memorion Pro really plays up the pure plants and minerals angle. And that phrase you mentioned earlier, gentle but powerful formula that supports neurotransmitters and blood flow to the brain. That sounds really specific, like it's doing something complex inside your head.
And that's another classic move, isn't it? Using these scientific sounding terms. I mean, neurotransmitters are your brain's chemical messengers. They're vital for memory, mood, learning, how brain cells talk to each other. And good blood flow, yeah, that brings the fuel, oxygen, nutrients to those cells. So these things are absolutely crucial for brain health. The idea of supporting them is spot on. But just saying it supports them without listing specific proven ingredients at dosages shown to work in studies, it's basically an empty claim. It sounds impressive, sure, like there's some sophisticated mechanism happening, but there's no real substance there about how it achieves this support in a way that actually makes a difference, and this vagueness.
Yeah.
Well, it leads us straight into another huge red flag that our sources flagged up.
Okay, here's where, for me, it got really interesting and honestly a bit worrying too. When I read about this specific red flag, these overnight miracle claims, it just clicked. We've all seen those ads, haven't we? These viral things promising amazing recovery, sometimes from just everyday stuff you find in your kitchen. Our source calls these emotional overnight success stories a huge red flag. What is it about that emotional pull that works so well, and why should it make us immediately suspicious?
Well, it works because it taps right into our deepest hopes and fears. Like we said, people are often desperate for a quick fix. Maybe they're worried about getting older or stressed at work or just feel overwhelmed. These overnight success stories, they offer instant hope. Dramatic results practically tomorrow. It's incredibly tempting.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then you connect it to the actual science. Harvard Health Publishing, for instance, as our source mentions, basically says most memory supplements lack scientific backing. Flat out. Even if one single ingredient in a pill might show some mild effects in a very specific lab study, these commercial blends like Memorion Pro, they almost never use the same research dosages. The reality is, legit supplements, if they work at all, usually show pretty modest benefits, and that's over time, not some dramatic improvement in a few days.
Right, it takes time.
Exactly. So that promise of instant results, combined with those emotional stories, that's usually about exploiting desperation. And sadly, as the source points out, that's often the business model. They play on vulnerability, selling an easy answer to a really complex problem.
And it feeds right into that desire for a quick fix we mentioned. Such an effective tactic, but yeah, pretty disheartening when you think about it.
Yeah.
So, okay, besides the vague claims about brain support, another key point from the sources is how Memorion Pro hypes the pure plants and minerals, but then seems to completely skip dosages in supporting studies. Why is that silence, that lack of detail, such a big deal?
It really comes down to transparency, doesn't it? Or the lack of it. You know, legitimate brands publish full formulas. They want you to see what's in there, how much of it, and often they'll even point you to the research behind their choices. So when companies stay vague, especially about the amounts, the dosages, it's usually because the formula just doesn't live up to the marketing hype.
Oh, okay.
It's a really common way to hide the fact that maybe the key ingredients are only there in tiny, ineffective amounts, amounts way below what any study showed might work, or maybe the combination they've picked just isn't proven. Essentially, they're asking you to buy a black box. You're trusting the marketing, not actual verifiable science.
Right, you have no idea what's really inside or if it's enough to do anything. So it's clear they rely on these impressive-sounding but maybe misleading certifications and these vague promises about ingredients. But we're also seeing a pattern in their business practices, right? And that often really comes through when you look at pricing. Our source pointed out something telling: pricing not listed up front. What does that usually signal in this industry?
Yeah, you're spot on noticing that pattern. It's a classic, absolutely classic tactic. Hiding cost almost always means inflated prices. It's part of that classic supplement playbook the source talks about. The whole strategy is, first, hook you with the emotional stuff, the miracle stories, create the sense of urgency and value, build up the credibility using those misinterpreted claims, and only then, once you're kind of emotionally invested and maybe feeling desperate, then they reveal the price.
Ah, so you're already halfway to buying it.
Exactly. It's designed to bypass your rational brain, the part that compares prices, and appeal straight to your emotions. You combine that with the disclaimer fine print that's usually buried somewhere obscure, plus all the other marketing smoke and mirrors we've been talking about. It just paints a picture that's designed purely to persuade you to click buy, not to actually inform you about the product's real worth or effectiveness.
Okay, so after dissecting all of this, what does it all mean for us, for you listening? If so many of these supplements are, well, kind of a bust or at least way overhyped, what does our brain actually need to stay healthy, sharp, perform well? If Memorion Pro isn't the magic bullet, what are the real proven strategies? This feels like the crucial takeaway here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we connect this back to genuine brain health, it's so much less about finding some magic pill and much, much more about building a solid foundation. Consistent, science-backed habits. Your brain definitely needs nutrients, no question. Things like B vitamins, omega-3s, antioxidants. But here's the kicker, and our sources are very clear, all of which you can get much more reliably and usually way more affordably from food or a basic multivitamin. Those fancy proprietary blends promising miracle memory boosts, honestly, they're mostly marketing fiction.
So ditch the fancy blends, focus on the basics.
Pretty much. And then focus on the real brain boosters, the things that are often free, incredibly effective, and actually backed by tons of solid research. These are the lifestyle factors. We should probably touch on a few because this is where the real power is.
Yes, please do.
Okay, first, regular physical exercise. This isn't just for your muscles, it's amazing for your brain. Even just a brisk walk 30 minutes a few times a week, it boosts blood flow to the brain, bringing oxygen and nutrients. Plus, it encourages new brain cell growth, especially in the hippocampus that's key for memory. Think of it like fertilizing your brain's garden.
Like that analogy.
Second, consistent quality sleep. Seriously, this is non-negotiable, not a luxury. While you're sleeping, your brain is working hard, cleaning out waste products, consolidating memories, processing information. If you're chronically sleep deprived, your memory, focus, problem solving, they all take a massive hit. Aim for that 7 to 9 hours. It's crucial.
Okay, seems a big one.
Third, effective stress management. Chronic stress is like poison for your brain, those stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, they can actually shrink parts of your brain involved in memory and learning. So finding ways to manage stress, mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, nature, hobbies, whatever works for you, it's incredibly protective.
Makes sense. What else?
Fourth, meaningful social engagement. We're social animals. Our brains thrive on connection, talking to people, engaging in conversation. It keeps your cognitive functions sharp. Exercises language, reasoning skills. Being isolated, on the other hand, is linked to cognitive decline. So stay connected. It's literally good for your brain.
Good reminder.
And finally, fifth, continuous lifelong learning. Keep challenging your brain. Like any muscle, it needs exercise. Learn a language, play an instrument, take up a complex hobby, even just read widely. It builds new connections between brain cells, strengthens existing ones, keeps your mind flexible. It's all about maintaining that neuroplasticity.
Wow. Exercise, sleep, stress, social life learning.
Exactly. These aren't just nice things to do. They're the absolute cornerstones of long-term cognitive health. And the best part, mostly free, entirely within your control, and no exaggerated claims attached.
That is incredibly empowering because these are things we can all actually do, habits we can build. So let's bring it all back. What's our deep dive verdict on Memorion Pro based on everything we've looked at from the sources you shared?
Well, pulling it all together, the verdict on Memorion Pro seems pretty clear based on our sources. All those points, the vague ingredients, miracle claims, and hidden pricing, they aren't just random issues. They form this really consistent pattern of red flags. The source's conclusion is pretty blunt, and I think it sums it up well. Memorion Pro looks like another overpriced supplement making promises it can't prove.
No.
It seems to be a product built much more on clever marketing than on, solid science.
Right. And for you listening, the big message here really is the importance of being informed. Making smart decisions about your health. Don't just fall for the hype, especially when it involves something as vital as your mind. Like our source perfectly put it, we want to help you avoid paying for expensive pee with false hope attached. Real brain health is not in a bottle. It's cultivated through those consistent, science-backed lifestyle choices we just talked about.
Yeah, and this whole thing, it raises a really important question, I think. Something for all of us to maybe reflect on. In this world that's constantly pushing quick fixes for our bodies, for our minds, how do we actually cultivate genuine long-term well-being? How do we really get sharper cognitive function? And maybe what's our responsibility here? To really scrutinize where we get our information, to demand actual evidence before we buy into these things.
That is a powerful thought to end on, a challenge for all of us, really. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It felt really important. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep using this kind of knowledge in your own life to make truly informed choices. Until next time, stay curious and stay sharp.